Oh, hey guys, you don't have to rub your eyes. This is cardboard, and I haven't completely lost my mind. There's a reason I'm doing this. Come check it out. Let me get this cardboard clamped in place, this template here. Then I'll explain the reasoning behind the madness of rolling cardboard in the English wheel. You may have figured it out already, but okay, so that's fitting comfortably there. We're on the rod here as well as here, so we can basically take this piece, transpose it onto sheet metal, and go from there. But before we do that, I'm going to talk about this quarter panel. My name's Nick, and I'd like to welcome you to iNVision Prototypes. This is the M40C build we've been working on, and as you can see, we have a new side visible. We've got the rocker is established, door skin is established, so both sides are pretty much running in parallel. All the structural stuff's been completed, we just need to finish weld all that stuff up, but we'll do that later. This front section has a concave shape outward that matches up with the door here. Behind this cardboard here, there's a shoulder line, and we have to basically create a feature in this section here. So this is going to roll in up to that feature and then up into the roof. And along this fender here, these fenders are going to be welded onto the car as one-piece quarters. We're not going to be bolting them on the car, so it's going to have a nice clean look at the back here. So what we're going to do is going to roll a flange on the sheet metal outward to pick up the fender. So coming back here, what you saw me doing was rolling this cardboard. And because it's corrugated, it had a hard time laying onto the buck. So I basically compressed the corrugations a bit in the wheel, flattened them out, and gave it the opportunity to roll down and around the buck comfortably. So no craziness there, it's just a matter of function. So once I get this panel cut out, I'm going to break it by hand, just give a gentle curve outward, kind of like we have on the door here. And it's going to be a soft curve, nothing serious. And then I'm going to get the upper rubber wheel installed in the English wheel, say that 3 times fast. And I'm going to form this feature, just like on the door, form this feature into this quarter panel sheet. And it's going to basically taper off into nothing. And then the other tricky part with this quarter panel is that we have a reverse curve that happens in this rear section here. That's why I basically made it out of a separate piece. So we can handle it a lot easier than trying to maneuver the whole quarter panel in the English wheel. And I'll show you the secret behind forming a reverse curve. They are tricky, and you have to know where to push the material and where to pull material. And once you figure that out, you can basically do almost any reverse curve. It is a lot of work, but once you figure it out, it's half the battle. So, okay. Let's get these pulled off the car, transpose them onto the metal, and go from there. Once we get the sheet metal panel kind of formed up and into place, I'll make my final scribes according to the buck, not according to the template. So I've got everything cut out, all prepped, wiped down, and now I'm going to get this rubber wheel installed so we can get the top feature started up there. Just kind of breaking the metal. Now, because we're sitting an inch higher here than we have to be, or 3/4 of an inch higher, I'm going to have to compensate with the marks up here to reflect those changes. And you can see that our radius here is very consistent with the buck. That'll roll out afterwards. Our happy little feature is going to be right there. And there. Now, I mentioned before that once we roll this over, this panel is going to straighten out. Right now, it kind of follows the contour of the body. Once we roll that over, this material here is going to have to be shrunk, or this material will have to be stretched, so that we accomplish that curvature in the body. First pass. Let's how that looks. Okay, not too bad. It's sitting about right. All right, so now the work begins. As you can see, that this is going really straight back, and we need to bring this in about 4 inches. So with this panel, we're going to start wheeling it crossways instead of lengthways like we did on the door. And the reason for that is we'll gain more curvature going this way when we're wheeling than the other way. Now, I'm not bearing down with a lot of pressure, just nice, consistent, medium to light, well, actually more like medium pressure. Most of this panel is straight. We don't have a big bulge here. If we start wheeling this way too much, we're going to have a big diving angle into the door jamb area, and we don't want that. We want a nice smooth transition from panel to panel. So it's going to feather into this area. We're not going to overwheel this area. It'll feather in, and the curvature, the majority of the curvature is going to be back in through here. Again, I'm wheeling this panel without marks. Keeps it cleaner that way. You gotta always remember to properly support your panel as well. Letting the sheet kind of hang over the anvil, it's also giving me a bit of stretch as well. Let's see how that looks up here. It's starting to roll in, and it's not looking too bad, you see? It's starting to dive in that way. Right now, I want to give this area some shape because there's a bit of a dish here. From creating this curvature here, we've got a bit of a dish here. So we're going to open this up and wheel out this area here and blend it into this quarter, into this section here. And it's taking shape, but really we have to control the process. So I unrolled my trusty beige rug and opened up this radius that we created earlier, just so we can get the low crown anvil up as high as possible into this radius and wheeling up this radius. Let's relieve the pressure just a smidgen. Much better. Now, as I approach that top radius, I'll be grouping the passes together a lot tighter. We want to wheel the upper section more so than down below here. And I'm also blending back into the wheel to the area that we wheeled earlier. Not sure if you can hear on the microphone, pitch changed in the sheet. So we're starting to develop shape into it. So I'm letting the panel kind of roll down over that anvil a bit. There we go. Key is support, support, support. If you don't support the panel properly, you're going to wheel it in such a way that you get a twist or whatever into it, and it's not going to sit right on the buck afterwards. You'll see when we close the panel, it will assume its old shape, and the radius will be right where we had it before. Okay. It gets heavy after a while. Just close the panel over the bench. Let's see how that looks. That vice grip's in the way a little bit, but as you can see, we're getting a nice shape to it, and it's following the curvature of the body. This is just about done through here. Just going to do some final wheeling afterwards, clean that up. Slow down. So we did flatten out a little bit up here, but we have the curvature coming around and following the buck towards the back there. What we can do now is roll the bottom edge, have it come down, and start scribing and fitting this to the buck so it fits a bit closer. Okay, let's try it. Okay, that's looking quite nice right there. Let's see, gonna line up right there. So we've dropped down 3/4 of an inch where we took away material from down below, and everything's falling into place everywhere else. We'll cut away what we don't need around here. So now we can start. Actually, we should get a little bit more curvature. It's a little too straight through here. So wheel a bit more, bring it around, and we can start scribing this in a minute. Okay. I'm going to scribe it here first. 1 second. Oops. Like that. Okay. Let's flip it over. Okay. See how this flattened out? I'm going to wheel that some more now. So you guys can see that we started reversing this feature here. Got this rolling over this way, coming over this way. By doing this feature, we actually flattened this area, which means we don't have enough material here. So we have to stretch this area just a little bit more just so it comes out and we have a nice consistent curve on the outside. I'm sure you noticed we're still using our flat anvil, a low crown anvil for this. Okay. It's perfectly normal. Just means we're trapping some material and it has no place to go. Yep. See, it's coming out now. Okay, it's at this point we're going to switch to a higher crown anvil and kind of blend this radius in. So we flatten this out a little bit now, so when we close the panel, that radius will come back. Okay. And that's it, guys. First piece of the quarter panel.